attract better men. Hello ladies, thanks for tuning in. So for those of you who gonna watch this live on replay, it's gonna be on YouTube, and later on I'm gonna put it on Instagram as well. So I want to remind you that there is that I have a Black Friday offer going on right now. It's gonna be over on Sunday. Okay, Sunday evening Paris time. So for you, if you're in the US, it's gonna be over in the afternoon. Okay. Hello ladies, hello Jani, hello Toya, hello Adina. I'm excited. You're gonna love this live. I'm gonna talk about how to show vulnerability. How to be a challenge, how to vet men better, how to find better men. Okay, you need to listen until the end. How are you guys? Hello Catherine. How are you guys? I'm happy that I finally got some time to do this live session, and I felt inspired to go live today. How was Thanksgiving for you guys? I'm waiting for more of you to join the live session, and then we can start the free session. It's gonna look like a class actually, and then you can ask me questions, but please stick to femininity, dating, vetting, and all of that. And if you have questions about my Black Friday offer, please drop it here, and you can also DM me as well. Okay, so I can start. So I wanted to talk about vulnerability, and I'm good, not Estella. I'm good. How are you? And so many of you are joining me now, and I'm so grateful for your support. And some of you are new to my page, and so here on my page you're gonna find everything you need on hypergamy, dating up, feeling secure when you date, stop getting attached so fast, and all of that, because this is what costs you commitment. You see, when you get attached this fast, men lose interest with you. They lose interest in you because they need to fall in love first. You see. So we're gonna talk about how to stop getting attached prematurely, and how to show vulnerability, and all of that. So I want to talk first of all about what we talk about in the feminine community. You see, about being hard to get and all of that, because many women do it wrong, and they think I won't sleep with him, I'm gonna make it hard for him to have sex with me, blah blah, and then they fall in love, and then they sleep with the guy, and now all their standards are gone. The man loses interest and all of that. And you see, there is a difference between a woman who is really hard to get, and by that it's because she has worked on her mindset, she has worked on her femininity, and she knows that good things take time. So there is that. And then you also have the woman who she takes it too far. She thinks, okay, I want him to work for my love and all of that. Now she becomes impossible to get. You see, that's not good either, because if you become impossible to get, the man loses interest in you. He's gonna get discouraged. So you need to find the sweet spot between him, finding you hard to get but still enjoying the process. You see, it's just like with fitness. If you started working out and it felt hard in the sense where it was impossible for you to see progress, you will be discouraged, right? Whereas when you see little progress every day, you keep up and you show up weekly for yourself. So this is the same thing that you need to implement when you date, and this is something we go over in my group coaching program. And I want to remind you that you have 60% off now, and it's gonna be over on Sunday. Okay, the offer will expire on Sunday. And I also want to talk about vulnerability. Okay, I struggle with this, but by struggling, I mean it's hard for me to pronounce it. But when many women hear that you need to be vulnerable and all of that because that's attractive, they think, oh, okay, I need to talk about my insecurities. I need to talk about my bum. I need to talk about how insecure I am, how I'm afraid of him cheating and all of that. And you see, when you mention about how threatened you feel by other women and all of that, what you do is that you push him towards those women. You see, whereas when you know that you are the prize and all of that, he's going nowhere. Okay, so this comes from the inner work that you do, and most people aren't doing inner work, men or women. You see, most women, when they work on themselves, when they say that they level up and all of that, what they have in mind is like, the Botox injection, the nails and all of that, but it's rarely inner work. Inner work isn't seen by others in the sense where you do it privately, but people can tell when they're around you that you have a rare level of confidence, you see. And for men, it's not necessarily about, their appearance. When a man works on himself, it's more about the money. He gets his money right. That is a good place to start, just like you looking good is a good place to start, because that's what people see first. And us women, when we look for a mate, we check his finances first. That's the first thing that we look at, right? When a guy approaches you on the street, the first thing that you start to think is like, okay, you start to look for signs of wealth, his watch, maybe his car, the way he speaks, the words he uses, because people who comes from high society and people who are educated and people who have high paying jobs, in most cases, like they speak well as well. They have charisma, they have a rich vocabulary, because if they reach that high status, because like they opened a few books, right? So yeah, there is that. And yeah, so yeah, when it comes to vulnerability, like it's attractive, but you need to learn how to do it in a way that is feminine and that makes the man have admiration for you. Because right now, what you are doing when you talk about your insecurities and you talk about how big your bum is or how flat it is or whatever, I don't know what words you use to describe your bum, but it's not uncommon for women, you see, to mention their bum, because that's an important body part, and we know that the opposite sex is attracted by the shape of a bum, and you have a lot of pages on social media about how to work on your bum, and I can totally understand why you might feel insecure about your bum, and yeah, but yeah, you need to show vulnerability in a way that makes you more attractive, and yeah, you need to learn how to do that, and yeah, we cover that in my program, and yeah, so I wanted to do something a bit different. So I just got an email from Steven Kotler. So Steven Kotler is a performance coach, and yeah, I did one of his programs with Man Valley. And yeah, I received an email from him, and the title of the email is "Why the Best Candidates Don't Apply for Jobs," and he basically teaches you how to recruit. And the reason why I wanted to mention that, I wanted to mention his email, is that it looks like the way you hire the best candidate is very close to the way you vet men, and I want to go through his email with you. Okay, I would suggest taking notes because it's really interesting. So he starts by saying that you have 5 steps to this game. So the first step is correctly defining the role. So here you need to have a clear view on what you are looking for. So what kind of men you want, the kind of relationships that you want, and all of that. And then the second step is making your job description your best sales page. So by that, so the metaphor for you is like you need to look good, and you need to make sure that your makeup is nice, your outfits are nice as well. You look feminine, and this is something that most women aren't doing. Most women look low maintenance when they leave the house. You see, they think, okay, I need to look good only when I go party. But no, you never know when you can meet a great guy, so you need to stay ready, because when you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. And then he says using talent dance hiring channels. So here it's more about all the ways and all the tools that you can use to hire talent. So for you here in dating is how to meet men, and then interviewing to sell, not to assess. And I like that because recruiters when they want to hire, the interview session is, to check if the candidate is good. But here it says that no, you need to interview to sell. And this is a great metaphor for you, because most women, when they go on dates, so this is the interview for you. When they go on dates, they let the man, so the man is seducing them and all of that, but they don't think of seducing the guy. Or maybe they think they're gonna seduce the guy, but then they end up doing pick-me things. You see, so you need to learn how to sell yourself in a feminine way. And again, this is something that we cover in my group coaching program. And then assessing fit through discovery projects. And we're gonna dive in, because I really like what he mentioned here. So then he describes all the steps. So correctly defining the roles. So here he says that, okay, you need to define the ideal person for the role. So for you, is like the ideal person to be your partner, to be your husband, and to be the father of your kids, if you want many. So he says that, the first mistake is that most people like they have a list that cover too many responsibilities. And I feel like that's kind of the same thing in dating, because many women, they want a best friend, a lover, a therapist, and all of that, right? Instead of having, a clear one clear goal that you want for your mate. You want him to be an amazing provider, and you want him to be, a great partner. Okay? And you need to keep in mind that a person can't be everything like that. And that's the same thing for you. You can't be his therapist. You can't be, you can't be everything. You can't be his therapist, but also his business partner, and also his best friend, also his lover. You see, you need to have, of course, like you might do a little bit of emotional labor, because that's also part of a relationship, right? But you need to be clear on that one task that will bring 80% of your fulfillment in the relationship. You see, does that make sense? And then and he says the more requirements you put in a role, the harder you make it to hire for. And it makes sense, right? Because if right now you're looking for a therapist, also you're looking for a therapist, also a business partner, also a husband, and also a best friend, and all of that, it makes it really hard for you to hire. So he says make your role definition incredibly simple. And he says, maybe you're thinking, but I desperately need them to do all these other things. And he says, that's fine, but for the purpose of recruitment, force yourself to define the role by 1 or 2 crystal clear responsibilities. He says, so the golden rule is that recruit for a generalized role and you will hire no one. Recruit for a specialized role and you will find someone great who you can generalize later. And I totally agree with that, because many women, they want a business partner, a husband, a father, and all of that. Whereas if they, he can be a great business partner, actually, especially for women who are really into entrepreneurship. They want, they want a mastermind, they want a business partner. He can be a great business partner, but initially that's not why you want to date him. Okay? And then he says mistake 2, blending skills that rarely go together in one person. So this comes back to what I just mentioned, that you want him to be, everything at the same time. And then he says mistake 3, hiring for a no man's land mid-level role. So he explains here that a lot of people hire for mid-level roles, but these are the toughest to hire for. So here it's like a lot of people will go on dates with men who are, average. And he says that dating those men for us, it's like dating those men is the hardest. And he says that it's easier actually to recruit, top executives and people you're gonna pay six figures. And that's the same thing for dating. It's easier to recruit a guy, who is in the top 20%, because you have less of them. So it means that choosing them is easier. And also, like, those people that are expected to provide, that they're expected to deliver, exceptional performance, like super fast. So you can tell fast if they are for you or not. You see, does that resonate with you? If your friends aren't here and they aren't attending this live, make sure that they do. Like, I'm gonna put the replay tonight on YouTube, and make sure that you send them the link, because what I'm sharing here is super important. So yeah, he says go for super simple singular roles, or for super elite advanced six figure roles. The singular roles are much easier to recruit for the reasons mentioned above, and at the super high level, paradoxically, it's easier to hire a 250k person than a 50k person. And that's the same thing for you. Like, dating a man who is in the top 20 or top 10% is easier than a man who is average. And yeah, again, he says finding them is simpler as there are less options, so you have to go direct. Assessing them is easy, because if they are not almost immediately delivering incredible value, they are not worth the spend. And this is like this is a great tip you can apply in dating. You see so many femininity coaches on Instagram saying, like, yeah, go for a dating coach, keep it low pressure and all of that, because you barely know the guy. But you see, when you go for men in the top 20%, you want them to be extravagant, and you want them to go out of their way, like, super fast, because this is what's expected when you are part of the top 20%. That they are expected to behave like that at work. And you know that everything, like, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So if when he dates you, like, he's like not doing much effort and all of that, well, it means this is how he's gonna behave at work as well. So it means that it's gonna remain low income as well. Okay. So yeah. Then he says making your job description your best sales page. All right, the role is defined and you've avoided the above 3 mistakes. Now it's time to write the job description with the most compelling sales copy you can possibly master. So yeah, here it tells you, you see, how to make a great landing page. And this is a great tip for you, to work on your personal branding. Like, ask yourself how you want to be perceived, what kind of femme fatale you want to be, what are your values, what are your boundaries. You see, most women never really think about that. They just, they navigate blindly. But no, if you want to date as a femme fatale and you want to be perceived as such, you need to be clear on who you are and on what you want to attract. And then he says using talent dance hiring channels. So he talks about, referrals, and this in dating can be used, with your network. Make sure that you are always meeting new people and you are increasing your network. Ask people to invite you to parties, to introduce you to great people they know. It can be male or female. Like, you just want to increase your network, because at this stage you just want to increase your network and make sure that you have wonderful people around you. Because feminine women, like, if you can get more feminine women in your life, do it, because they're gonna help you feel more secure, more confident, and all of that. And the thing with feminine women is that they know people who are high value as well, so they can introduce you to them. Okay. And then he says, correct recruiting is messy, it takes time, it's difficult to systemize, but those channels are the best. Okay, so he talks about all the ways you can meet and network. And then he says some tips to nail each of these top channels referrals. So yeah, he offers a huge cash bonus for referrals, and here it can be like you can use the same strategy in the sense where when you network, you need to make sure that you sell yourself, and the people you ask for the people you chat with for referrals, you need to make sure that they think highly of you and they have quality experiences with you, because if you are amazing with them, they will want you to know their friends as well, you see. So yeah, invite them for dinner, for coffee, buy them gift, be extravagant with your love, okay? And then he also says like, yeah, you can ask for intros. Yeah, do you know anyone who would be interested in this? You know anyone, I don't know, do you have friends who are into self-development? You see, things like that. And then he says that when he was bad at recruiting, he would get 100 applications per role, and this is the same thing for you. If right now you are using dating apps, you get a lot of matches and all of that, but the issue you have is that you have a hard time having genuine connections with the men that you meet on those apps, and you need to become good at that. And this is something that we work on in my program. You want to be good at building rapport fast, so that Tinder match or wherever you meet him becomes a genuine connection and he starts to bond with you, you see. And then step 4, he says interviewing to sell, not to assess. He says that yeah, he doesn't use interviews to assess a candidate, he uses interviews to sell a candidate. And he says yeah, as you start to get potential candidates from the above channels, begin to book calls with them. And in some cases, it will be explicit that it's an interview, but in many cases, the purpose of the call can be just to chat. And I agree here when it comes to dating. Like most women, when they know that, okay, he has status and all of that, they want marriage yesterday. And I think it would be better for you to detach yourself from that and just to stay in the moment. Of course, like it's clear in your mind that you want commitment and all of that, but at this stage, the goal is not to think about commitment, your wedding, and how his last name sounds with your first name. You see, at this stage, the goal is just to chat, okay? Have quality conversations, check if he has values and all of that, and if he's like someone that you at least like, not in the way for dating, but at least for friendship. You want to be with someone that you truly like, not just love but like, okay? Because love is more like irrational. It's more about the chemicals that your brain releases, whereas liking someone is really about them being an amazing person, regardless of the romantic love you have for them or not, you see. And then he says, on that interview sales call, ask them about their dream job, 5-year career goals, and desire for contribution. And here you can use the same tactic when it comes to vetting him and discovering his values, his dreams, vision for his life, and all of that. And for example, if you just met him and he's already talking about how all his exes were crazy, and how he doesn't want to commit and all of that, like when you hear that, or when he talks about how he doesn't believe in monogamy and stuff like that, it's not your job to convince him on how monogamy is great. You let him go, okay? And then he says assessing fit through discovery projects. And I like this tip because he says that yeah, when he wants to recruit, what he does is that he asks the candidate to do some jobs, and he pays, and he pays them obviously for what they deliver. And you can use the same strategy, like, and this is the strategy that we use anyway when dating. We don't just go for it blindly. With the date, we can see. So PC says, yep, you must like them. have loved people that I realized later I did not really like. I totally agree with that. And yeah, so assessing fit through discovery project is about dating, how they coach you, how they seduce you, and all of that. And he says, yeah, for example, if you are hiring a salesperson, have the discovery project be three mock sales calls and the writing of a follow-up email. So those are examples of the things they can do to show how they work. And for you, when it comes to dating, is how organized they are when it comes to planning dates. Do you need to are you stressed because you don't know when the date will happen, what you need to wear, and all of that? You need to make sure that the guy you see is organized. He has a sense of urgency, and he also has some taste. Like it's not because like this is something silly that I've seen, but like some black women were saying that he took me to a ghetto because I was black, and he thought that I would enjoy the ghetto. You see, you want to make sure that the guy has taste, and he's thoughtful. You see. And he says in some cases, especially for higher level roles, you will want multiple discovery projects. And I agree, this is something that you can use as well in dating, in the sense where it's not just him seducing you it's not just about him seducing you in 2 or 3 weeks. Like, you want to make sure that the discovery project, so for you it's like the dates, the quality moments you have with him happen over a long period of time, you see. So he says, often with a 6-figure role, I will do often with a 6-figure role, I'll do 1 day discovery project, and then 1 month discovery period, and then we go full time. And you can use the same system for dating. So you have a few dates, and then you keep on vetting them for a long period of time, and then if they ask you to commit, you commit. And he says, for shorter roles, this isn't necessary. And I agree, like, if you want something casual, then you don't have to do all of that. But if you follow me, it's because you want something serious. You don't want to date as if you were in high school, right? You don't want casual hookups. You want commitment. So that was basically it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to, because I subscribe to a lot of things like that, so I always try to look for ways to connect it, and make it, I don't know how to explain, but like, when I read things like that, I always look for ways to connect it with femininity, how we can apply those principles to femininity, because at the end of the day, everything is interconnected. So you can learn from top performers, and you can apply that to your dating strategy as well. So for those of you who just joined, I'm gonna put a replay on YouTube, because right now I need to go already. Don't forget that you can still join my group coaching program, and you have a sale because now it's Black Friday, and I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving here in France, but I hope if you are in the US, you had a wonderful time with your family, you ate well, and you have 60% off on my group coaching program. So now you can just join for, I believe it's like $160 if you choose the payment plan. So this is nothing comparing to the value that you get in it. Normally I charge $3,000 for that. So now you can have me in your back pocket for a fraction of the cost. Some women joined already, and they're getting incredible results, and we barely started. So imagine where you're gonna be in a year. Okay, like, a year is plenty of time to get commitments, plenty of time to experience princess treatment, to get better, and to feel more confident and secure. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's chat soon. Bye bye.